Test, test, check. Cut my volume a tad. All right, let me know how that sounds, Leela, please.
Ready?
That's right. I need to come over here and turn on your audio. Check, 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 check. How you doing, Leela? How does it sound? Low. Should be the same, no matter where I aim. What you think? We are. How does that sound? Can you hear the thing move around?
Yeah, you said no matter where I am.
But it's not like
Yeah.
That was fun.
Yeah, I can move it. But it's not.
Can you hear this?
Give me a few seconds with the latency. Yeah. Yeah.
You can hear it? Is it like bad? No. Okay. Doesn't overpower the voice.
Actually, why don't you talk while you crinkle it though?
This is what it sounds like when I'm talking and crinkling the wrapper. What do you think about that? What about talking and having like a louder, more higher pitched sound? Sounds fine?
Yeah.
Oh my gosh, look what I found. How did he get under the cup? He was under the cup.
Is he dead?
No. Mr. Junebug. I wonder why they call them June bugs.
Right, because in Mississippi right now it's March. It's all March, but
It's actually March everywhere. All right, we have to get cleaned up, get started. I bet he fell in the cup and he was holding on to the cup and then we turned it upside down.
yeah.
Okay. All right. Okay. All is okay. Did that sound fine? Is it good? Is it normal? Does it sound present? Leela offering feedback. Good. All right. So once again, we have have come in to turn on this live stream with the intention of sharing an update and kind of mapping out a game plan. Since right now we have a lot of things to do, we're behind in a lot of areas. It's taken us a bit to get this live stream comfortable, and still it's a struggle to get in, get all the equipment turned on, get the settings mapped out as easy as possible, and then try to hit go. And then you go through all of that, and and then you're supposed to have a just some update to throw in, and you got nothing. So we're gonna not worry about it. We're still in the learning phase, getting past just that initial shock of going live and trying to get into a place of comfort off the cuff. And we're going to give ourselves as much time as we need, since we're crafting this channel to be a place where we can share who we are, and be it art, music, thoughts. That's what we do. That's what we want to do. And so, as much as we love you and we love your input, I think that the first wrong turn is to try to craft something that is, let's say, good for you, but then it makes maybe makes me uncomfortable, or brings discomfort into this space, because for me, making artwork is it's potentially my my closest the closest thing that I have to being, to just kind of expressing myself with clay. It's what I've been doing for so long, and now I'm in a place where I want to open that up to share. But the problem is sharing is my fear. Going live, cameras, social media, all of that stuff is very terrifying, and I think it's more so because of the perfectionism. Once you start trying to make something perfect, or you need something to be perfect, it really starts to throw wrenches into every part of your process. For my artwork, I don't mind perfectionism. I don't mind really fine-tooth combing every element of it, because to me that is the creation is my purpose. I don't care about the studio. I don't care about my space. I sacrifice it all for for the artwork. And so, anyways, yep, we are sitting here on Monday. We've completed probably about 3 to 4 weeks, maybe even longer, of live streaming, trying to live stream straight through for a 30-day challenge. And afterward, it took so much energy, I just needed a break. We took a good bit of time off and got into just relaxing. We've done a lot of more fine tuning within the studio. We've got our second DJI set up for a like a secondary overlay. I'll show y'all what that looks like. So yeah, so here, just a quick setup here, but our goal is to try to get into glazing today. We want to glaze these small cups. We got to get them out to Top Drawer. They're redesigning a new store, and Andy called and asked me to get him some small containers for some brush holders. And so we're going to try to pull it together. I don't have enough to fill the order, so I'm going to try to pull in some of these older prototypes. We're going to try to get them tightened up, maybe throw an extra glaze on there and run it back through. So that's what we're going to try to do today, and we're going to try to capture that process with the two cameras. So we could have one for, one for context, and then maybe set this one up for, for like a detail workshop. What is going to be the next step? I've got to pull the glazes that I need to use. I've got my sheet here that I use for my. This is what I use to map out which glazes go on which piece. So these are all the 12 by 24 inch shelves that I use to fire on, and then the brick placements for where the stilts go. When you fire a kiln, when you fire your ware, the bricks have to align all the way up. Otherwise, you get weak spots or too much pressure on the shelf itself. And even though it's a silicon carbide shelf and very strong, it'll crack the shelf and it can break it, and then the whole thing will collapse. So anyways, welcome in. I don't know what else we have from there. We have a huge to-do list of things that we want to get done trying to near firing the kiln. And so right now we've got a mess of bisque ware, all these pieces that we made this last month during the live stream. We got 3 pans of cups and about 9 mugs. And we want to load those in the kiln and get them bisqued. We need to glaze these 10 pieces, get them firing. I need to finish cleaning the pug mill so I can convert the studio to porcelain. And that's it. Oh, and I need to get another cable to free up my cameras. So anyways, welcome in. Let us know. Let us know if we can help. Oh, I can't hit the enter key. The enter key both transitioned and posted. What's up, Leela?
Hey.
Leela P. Who is Leela Pelham?
I don't know. I don't know that person.
All right, well, anyways, we're going to stick to the main screen for now while we get set up. If anyone has any questions, feel free to ask. I'm going to turn my attention away from the computer and maybe give Leela that. And that way, if anything needs to happen, we'll let her deal with that. I think I need a new sheet.
Like you need one printed? You can print from here.
Yeah, but I don't know if this is... What's up, Rhonda? I don't know if this is on my computer or if it's on one of the flash drives. Oh, I guess you can also monitor from there.
Yeah, you can.
We're just starting out today, getting this live stream started. We've put in a few hours just tightening up the cameras, and yeah, it's a beautiful day outside. The weather's great. It started cold, but here in South Mississippi, I think it's going to get up to 86. Is that right?
84.
84.
Yeah.
84 degrees. And that's probably the hardest part of all of this, because I've got these little tin sheds, and this shed here is going to be the one I'm going to work in most of the summer, since our other shed is not insulated or air conditioned. But how are you doing? 84 degrees
Fahrenheit.
Fahrenheit. Where are you from, Rhonda?
Your heart's happening.
I could scoot some of these over. These are what we're making. Canada.
Come on down to the Gulf Coast. It'll be nice and warm.
Let's try our split screen. So these here are containers. I have small and large ones. The purpose of these containers is to showcase the two primary glaze positions for firing. When you fire something upright, then the glaze runs gravitationally down the piece from the rim to the foot. But like this one here, you can see that the glaze is running across the piece. And so to get this effect, you fire the piece on its side, right here and right here. And so when I load it in the kiln, I'll glaze the piece, however, and then I'll load it like this so that the glaze runs gravitationally across the surface. And though this one is like a darker glaze, it definitely has really intriguing elements as the glazes run and blend across the surface. You get these just really incredible effects. And then once it hits the bottom side, you get these really beautiful drips, which of course, here's maybe a more colorful one. But then you get these really beautiful images when the glaze runs around and connects. You can see here I used a lot of this lavender purple, and then a more neutral, I don't know what glaze that might be, but then they come in pool. So I've got some of these that, like here's a set.
She said, cool, that's so pretty.
Now here's a set of the small-ish and the large-ish containers. And this one here was refired upright, and so it kind of killed the design. But here's one. The larger containers I fire upright, and so this is their surface. And so the glaze, you can see how it runs gravitationally down the piece. And then this one here would be a matching smaller container. And then if this one was side fired, then it would have this type of glaze effect. So the purpose of the containers is to showcase how glazes go from a vertical to a horizontal glaze flow, like that. So anyways, we have an order to get 10 small containers for Top Drawer Shop out of Boston, and they're gonna use these for paintbrush holders within their stores activities. So some of those will be refired, some of these are going to be glazed. We're going to hopefully get that done today. I don't have the glazes picked out, mixed, or anything, and they're all in the other room. So I'm going to go and It's going to take me some time to get sorted, and but I'm going to get a little glaze set up going here, and get my glazes and brushes ready. And we're going to try to map out what glazes are going to go on which pieces, and we're going to get to glazing. So that's our number one priority today. If you got questions, feel free to throw them in. If you get bored, if you get busy and have to take off, feel free to check back later for any of the instant shorts.
You want to go back to your main screen now that you're
My.
transitioning?
We also are using our OBS software, so it's given us a really good ability to kind of manage this broadcast better. The other studio next door is really, it's been the catch-all for everything in this room as we've been getting it cleaned up for live streaming. So, all right. If you have questions, feel free to let me know in the comments, and if Leela spots them, she'll let me know. I'm going to go ahead and start pulling some of my staple glazes. I will probably glaze these I will probably not.
She wants to know how long does it take to make one of them, or do one of them?
One cup, maybe. I don't think I think I remember it taking just a few minutes. Oh, how long does it take to glaze? To glaze 1 cup, maybe 4 or 5 minutes. So the thing about pottery is it's not exact, but typically I find that in production, however long it takes to do one step, that's about how long it takes to do any of the steps. And so if it takes, 5 minutes to throw something, then it could easily take the same amount of time to trim it. Say what?
She said, yeah.
Yeah. But anyways, each piece gets no less than 3 glazes. Sometimes I will treat ash as a glaze or as an effect, but each piece will get at least 4 glazes, 4 different colors, and each piece will be different, glazed differently. One is lavender, 19. So right now I'm just looking for a few staples. We're not trying to do anything new right now. I'm not trying to, match up some glazes that I'm not certain of, because we need these to come out. They need these in store by the 5th. So the timing is a bit crunched. So look at this. So these right here, let's see if this works. So there's these little pockets within the surface. Let me see what this focus. That should be good. Okay, this should be good. So these pockets within the surface, it comes off as like this really strange texture, and I didn't know what it was coming from, and then I realized that this was a darker body clay, but dark clays tend to hide the color, because when the iron in the clay gets pulled off into the glaze, then it starts to darken everything up, kind of muddying the colors. On these, I wanted them to be very bright and colorful, so I took a white porcelain slip, painted it to the outside and the inside as like a thicker coat. And so what I had realized is that the organic matter, as the clay body is vitrifying, it's off-gassing from within the clay. And so here's one where there's these little bubbles all over it. It's got all these little micro bubbles on the surface. And so what it is that the clay body is off-gassing, but in order to off-gas, it must get out of the layer of slip, because it's in between them. And if it gets hot enough, then the slip will eventually pop, and then it leaves this really crazy texture within it. So it was a good test. These were all prototypes. This is a new product we had just started, I think about a year ago, maybe 2 years ago. I think it would have been about 2 years ago. And so these are the prototypes, and these will be the last of them. And so these are going to get shipped out, and then we'll start making some new ones.
Yeah, hearts and smiles.
We'll start getting some new ones soon. All right, so green glaze, light translucent glaze. 21 is a white opaque glaze. 14 is a running crystalline glaze. 1 is a purple lavender. 11 is a kind of like a cream. It's a creamy matte. Turquoise 101 is a trick glaze. 19 is a complicated glaze. It goes from a matte surface that runs very heavily, and then when it runs into the pool, it just creates these beautiful crystal emerald ponds. So that's how I think through these. I see these glazes. I've used them enough that I know what they do in my head. And so if you have, okay, so you know what I need? I really need this camera to be on and isolated.
Are you split screen?
Let's see, if I'm standing up, let me see if I can move this down.
Rhonda said okay. I don't actually know what she said okay about, but she's with you.
She's with us. You still with us, Rhonda? I get lost so easy. All right, let's try that. I was thinking the camera too, if I could bring it in closer. All right, that should be good. So this cup here, this is another cup. 4 glazes on this cup, but you can see how they all are doing something different. Being this orange, this green, turquoise. There's looks like a crystalline, some white crystals, which could be a matte white glaze or something else. But you have 4 different glazes on here. Well, I don't know. I know what the glazes will do, but I don't know what the glazes will do once they're interacting. If you take 2 glazes and put one underneath another, you could have a completely different effect if you reverse those. And so everything I do is just more alchemy, testing, recording, and then moving on. All right, let's see if I can get some more space here. Thank you for your questions. Thank you for being here. Leela and I just started this live stream. I've been working in this studio for, for well over a decade, and we're just now opening it.
She wants to know, what's the largest thing you've done for pottery? Like, what's the biggest sculpture you've made?
Well, the largest one I have is inside, and it probably sits about this big.
About a meter high.
And it's a big.
Once you add the two together.
It's a big sphere. This one here is the one that we're working to fire right now, and I will put it on this table so you could see it. Can you see that?
Right now it's behind.
So this is a 2 bowls.
Yeah, I was just gonna say.
All right, so this one here is was 2 large bowls.
Can you make it the one screen? Oh, you did. Okay,
Mhm.
sorry.
So this is 2 large bowls put together into a sphere, and then I did the same thing with these 3 balls, and I made I'd make 2 small bowls and then I'd put them together, and then I'd attached it to this, and I used 2 different clay bodies. This piece here, I don't know what the orientation is, but it will sit.
This side, the two are really touching. She's laughing and she said, wow.
Anyways, I don't know. I don't remember the orientation. I had it marked on here. I'll give it one more try. It's not good. Now I have to make it make sense. I've got ADHD, and I just quit my medication a week ago. I said, well,
It's really tilty.
I would rather, yeah, and that was the only way. There's one way that this can go, and it'll be straight, but
Well, let's make it simple.
I will leave it. Something like that. Something like that. And so all of my work is, or the majority of my sculptural work, it hinges on this like serendipitous trial type of an idea. So I will spend a long time crafting the pieces, And then when I put them in the kiln in the last firing, the glaze firing, I overflux the clay body. So I add a melting agent to the clay body, and it will begin to melt and deteriorate the integrity of the piece, and then the whole thing collapses. And so this is one from a little while back. And so you can see how the whole foot there is just completely eroded through and melted. And this whole top portion completely melted through. And it sits on a brick, but for the time being, it now sits like this. And so when this thing went into the kiln, it had these pieces all arranged. They were all separate pieces. And then they stood straight up, completely stood up in orientation. And then there was a large ring that was attached here, and it completely melted off. And it's there. It's on the floor over there. But all of this surface, all of this texture, I couldn't have created it. All of this was done. All of this was done in the kiln. And so it's a really strange feeling, and that's a long story that I can get into another time. But it was just perfection, right? You try so hard to make it the way you wanted it, and then one day I'd put the flux.
That's so sad.
One day I had put the flux within one of my pieces. I'd spent about a month working on this piece, and I'd packed salt within the folds. Anyways, that salt just liquefied the clay body, and this piece that I'd spent, about a month putting together, completely melts over, and the walls of it just started shearing, ripping, tearing, bubbling. And when I took it out of the kiln, I was just devastated. I was like, man, to put all of that work in it, and I ruined the piece. And then my buddy Andy said, bring it by the gallery. Let me take a look at it. And we put it down on the pavers and studied it for a bit. And he just said, give it some time. Give it some time. And the more I looked at it, the more questions and intrigue built. And I was just sitting there going, this isn't mine. Like, this isn't my piece. I had constructed, that, and then I'd put it in the kiln, and the whole thing melts over. And I was just, I felt like I'd ruined my work. But then what I had realized is that I didn't ruin my work, but I gave this piece a chance to have its own voice. And it turns out that it has a greater voice than what I could have given it. And yes, it might have some tears and cracks and shearing or bubbling, whatever. The whole thing could completely melt over, as they all normally do. But in the end, it's like I didn't create it, but I just had a part in its creation, because at 2400 degrees, there's no, there's very little affecting what's going to happen. And when you fire through, when you open it up, you have no idea what you're going to get. And that feeling has fueled the entire transition of my work into each of these pieces developing its own voice. Like, I'm no longer trying to control what comes out. I'm just trying to control the setup to allow it to be unique and individual. And so that right there is what where all my work goes. So this piece right here will probably be the most difficult piece I have fired. It's the one that we're getting ready to fire, hopefully in a month or so. But this will be the hardest one because it is the tallest piece that I have fired, and it has the most mass. So there's a lot of weight to this. And so my thought for fluxing it is to pack it within here, or to put something up here, or even maybe fill, one of these chambers. But the idea is to have all of this erode in a manner to just make it move and do something. And I've got a feeling that this whole piece is going to come down. And so the hard part is not keeping it from coming down, but it's to control how it falls. And so it's going to fall. I just don't know if I'll be able to predict how it falls to protect it. All right, let me grab some glaze brushes. Thanks for being here, Rhonda. Which one are we on?
See you soon. She sent smiley emojis and a wave. Right. Here, I put this water here for you.
Thank you. All right, so I've got a few glazes. Should be fine to get me through this. I'll take one more look to see if there's anything else I want to try. 10. Ten, 9. I think I wanted to put a base coat of white over the entire piece.
Yeah, you did.
I
Do you
think
remember
I did.
which white? Or actually, you hadn't decided what.
It'd be risky to do that. All right, I think I like this white. This is a very soft, it's like a very soft, creamy white, very thick. And it looks like it's a bit self-healing, so I'm gonna just take a risk and throw this on everything. Let's start there. All right, I'm gonna use a little drill hand blender, and we're gonna get this mixed down.
So you're gonna do refires and new in the same
Mm-hmm.
tray. So it
Mhm.
doesn't matter. Interesting. Cool.
But I don't think I want to refire this one. No, and I don't think I want to refire either of these. Mm, 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 mm.
Put love in your heart.
All right, so this shelf will be refires with one set, and I'll do another set with the 5 singles left over. Find a wet rag or sponge.
Are you like taking off the slip or just moving it out?
The dirt.
Oh.
The dirt that is collected from sitting. If you got any questions, feel free to ask. Oh, thank you, Leela. You've been adding commentary.
Yeah. Play by play.
Play by play.
Yeah, like if you disappear out of the room.
Yeah.
He's gone.
He gone.
This.
He gone. Yeah, so we would love feedback on the layout, the dual camera, the audio. If there's anything that doesn't really fit well or doesn't work for you, if it's lagging, anything, any type of feedback like that, we'd love to know. Usually if it happens to one person, it's happening to a lot of people. And so it's anything can be fixed. Well, maybe not anything.
If you break it,
I can't change my
be fixed.
I can't change my appearance.
No.
I can change a lot of my appearance, not all of it. Okay, let's
And the world would be a better place.
pen. You have another pen? All right, so what I'm going to do is just quickly map out here how these are going to be laid out on this shelf. I'm going to call it Refire Plus Set. All right. Get them drawing skills. You'd have thought that kid went to art school. All right, first things first, let's drop a white coat on all of these. All right, so if I'm turning here to glaze, how's that work?
Is that gray glaze, the white glaze?
Mm-hmm.
Wow. Um, yeah, I think that works well. May I center it a bit more?
Sure.
You know, I kind of was listening a bit as you were talking about the pucks in on the outside of that cup, and so how is reglazing it gonna?
Change it.
Yeah.
Uh,
So you're saying those are caused by the gases escaping?
well, that was just my my assumption. I don't actually know why, but that is what I kind of predict.
But as you actually, you're gonna side fire that one.
Right.
Oh wow! So it's gonna be side fire on top of the vertical.
Right. I'm erasing what is on there, and I'm going to create something new.
Wow.
And I'm adding white to the top of it because
It's gonna run down and pool.
yeah.
Do you think we'll still be able to see some of that green and blue underneath? Or we'll see.
Yeah. No, all the glaze that's on there is still on there. Anything that is not covered by white or affected by the white is just going to change direction. So since the glaze has already run all the way down in streaks, then you're just now taking a streak of glazing and then turning it on its side. So it's just going to have this like pool from that point. Now, how far around that runs and pools, it'll just depend on what the glazes were that created it and if they're still going to react the same way.
Cool.
For instance, what creates the runs and the streaking is the ash. Well, I don't know if ash is going to lose its effect or if it's already now baked into the glaze, and that that material now is going to stay just as reactive before.
Yeah.
But it's going to be in a much different way because as that ash melts, it builds up that bead that runs down. Well, now it doesn't have enough to build up, so I know it's going to change direction. I don't know if it's going to have enough reactivity to do what. But the same glaze is on there, and now it's going to have white, so I can, and here now I can actually choose. Oh no, here it is. So now I can choose, like, if I wanted to fire it this way, the white is not a running glaze, but if the white is on top of a running glaze, then it can get pulled around and broken up into pieces. If I fire it like this, it may move around and move down together, but then all of this blue and green streaking may push it down, staying revealed, where this way, this white could run all the way around and then have some weird blending within the color.
So it could be really pretty.
It could be really pretty. It could really suck. And it could just be okay.
We'll see.
But yeah, like I said, it's alchemy and the idea that, like, what pieces you're putting in. Like, I know what this does, I know what this does, I know what this does. And so you put them in together, and you know what they all do, and maybe you know what two glazes will do by themselves, but once you get into 3 or 4 glazes, that's when it can be really tricky to find out what glazes are doing what. And that's why I make notes, so that once the pieces come out of the kiln, then I can analyze each one. For instance, I have a recording of this piece. I can tell you exactly what 4 glazes are on here. So if I like it, I can redo it. But redoing it will not produce the same effect, because you can't control every element
With the fire.
of pottery.
For our lives.
No, I can control that, just not my pottery. All right, moving on.
Okay.
This one here is glazing down.
I still really appreciate how that completely gray glaze turns white under the fire.
Mm-hmm. It should be this glaze. That's the white.
Yeah, you can really tell it's not going to run because you can still almost see the brush strokes.
Mm-hmm, that's right. I feel like I need this to run a little more. Let me get some Darvin.
You want more water?
No, I'm fine.
All right. I need a calculator. Four thumbs up.
So this is clearly brush applied glazing. It's I think it's more uncommon than a lot of the other glazing methods, and because it takes a lot longer than just, you know, dipping a piece in, pulling it out, setting it down. That's usually the most common applied glaze, but I find the intricacy that you can get with brushwork is worth the extra time.
Cool.
So this batch is getting reglazed unless one of the glazes on there is already this white glaze, number 25, then it'll have 5 glazes. So Leela, you want to try a first and snap a few photographs and then make a post on Facebook, Instagram, and just say, you know, we're glazing up these pieces for Top Drawers' newest remodel. I don't know which, I forgot which remodel they're working on. And what time is it? Because I don't know if I'm going to be able to finish this by
Oh yeah, I was actually going to tell
12.
You earlier when it was 11:53. It's 11:58.
Dang. Well, you know, we did our talk. We did some light catch up.
You weren't expecting to be at this place until 2 p.m.
I was not. I'm pretty pleased that we're moving forward in this manner. This is really exciting for us because we've been working for a long time to get to this place of live streaming, and we have barely done any actual tasks. So our whole studio has been near bricked up. Everything's been in limbo while we just figure this out. And we could say, how about I hold up? Why don't I hold up like this to this? Even though it's been refired, it'll look more like photo shoot.
Photo shoot.
I'm not smiling. Come on, baby, making this painful. Are we making a video over here?
No.
Okay. So anyways, yeah, we can make a post and say that we'll be back at 2 to finish. And then I can what? We can break, go have lunch. it's been good. All right. So yeah. So as I was saying, we've been working hard to get to this place, and it's cost us a lot of progress, because all of the progress has been behind the scenes, trying to figure out settings and to get everything looking good and working. So we're at that point, and that's why this week we are launching out to actually begin tasking and working. So yeah. So right now we're kind of in this beautiful transition of trying to talk through ideas, thoughts, process while actually working, and so yeah, as Leela says, the goal today was to go live, share some ideas, do a quick update, and then figure out how to get into this process, which we just jumped into it, and here we are. My the first glaze going on is I'm going with a white. I'm going with a white glaze, and I'm doing that because I really think that the clay body with a porcelain slip is creating the possibility of pinhole. It's not pinholes, but the off gas of the clay is popping little bubbles through the slip layer, which is not it's not a critical error. It probably would be considered a defect, but it's not a critical defect where it ruins the piece. It's just that most people have an idea of what they want, and most people do not want these in their, with their work. But my artwork certainly opens up all possibilities for texture, glaze, look, feel, and if it doesn't pass, then I'll keep it, pull it out, and then rework it, refire it, or throw it away. And so what I'm doing is I'm putting putting this white glaze on the outer surface because it's thick, opaque, and self-healing. And any glaze that goes on top of it should preserve more of its truer color, since the white will also help hold back iron that is going to seep out of the clay body. So that's where we're at. We're stepping forward. We're going to get these glazed up and in the kiln to fire so that we can get these out to Top Drawers opening by August 5th. And but right now we're hungry. We're going to go grab some lunch. And it seems easy enough to just shut the stream down, and then we'll kick on another one at around 2-ish. And but we're going to come right back to here and keep glazing. All right, thank you all for showing and being present. Let me know if y'all have any questions, and we'll be back. Thanks. Take care.